I can see a lot of males in the audience, and I'm going to talk about women empowerment. So it's going to be a fun journey. So my journey is all about women empowerment and what I went through in establishing this and the changes that I went through while I was doing this. It's more about, it's been an inwards journey more than outwards. And the transitions that I went through, I want to share them with you because I think that would help to inspire people who want to make that kind of a change in their careers and in their lives. So the main thing was that what really inspired me was that I was affected by the state of poverty and the state of women in this country. And I wanted to do something about them. So I started my journey slowly from one end to another. And it was very scary. Initially, I had no idea where I was going, what I was doing with it. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., the most urgent and pressing need in our lives, and the most pressing question is, what are we doing for others? I had no idea what my contribution would be towards the society. So here's the thing. Back in 2009, I went for a hiking trip with a group of friends. And I used to go hiking quite a few times. I was a very frequent hiker. And right in the midst of those bucolic surroundings, I had this epiphany. I was appalled by the state of poverty and the state of women. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to do something about this. I'm not going to let it pass. I'm not going to let my country be in the bottom 3% of the Gender Development Index. I'm going to take this up and I'm going to do something about it. But I had absolutely no idea what I could do. And that was the trouble. I knew I had a direction. I knew I had to go somewhere. But what was that direction? Where was it taking me? Absolutely clueless. On returning home, when I came back, I was practicing as a cosmetic dermatologist. And I knew that I had to transition into nonprofit sector. It was the most challenging journey of my life. It has completely disrupted everything that I stood for, everything that I believed in. It's like your identity being snatched from you, and you have to start from scratch. And it was very scary. So here's what I did. Anybody who's thinking about making a significant transition in your life, you have to remember two things. Number one, hire a life coach. You need that kind of third-party perspective to lead you along. You cannot make that transition alone. It's huge and it's very, very scary. Number two, be prepared to fail. You will fail a lot and it will hurt. It hurts so bad. You fall flat on your face, you're rejected, and it's terrible, especially being a woman in a certain society. It traumatizes you at times, and you just want to give up, and you're like, why am I doing this? Then there are always people who are trying to misconstrue and misinterpret your message. That happened to us a lot. When I established I Change Her Life, and that's the company that I established, it was so hard. We went to make these, we talked to people and we went to make these pitches, and I thought it would be the same everywhere. Internationally, we were being recognized, but in our own country, nobody wanted to help us. It was so strange. But even on international level, the challenges that we faced were so insidious. Some of the people just misconstrued our whole idea, and they thought that it was a religious and a political movement. How intriguing is that? I could not understand where that came from. They just misconstrued and misinterpreted our entire message and just turned it around and threw it in our faces. But these are some of the challenges that you face. This is the part of reality. This is what happens when you start something new. It is a part of progress, but it's a very painful part. So, and besides that, there were other aspects to it as well. From my family's point of view, they could not understand what was going on. My brothers, my friends, they all turned away from me. They couldn't understand where I was going. They always saw a very frivolous, a very nonchalant side of me, and that was fading away. There was somebody else in its place, and they couldn't understand where that transition would actually lead me, and it was a scary process for them more than me. So here's the thing, that whenever you're going through such a difficult phase, you have to embrace the conflict. Don't let it override you. Just go ahead, embrace it, and move past it. That's what you got to do, no matter how difficult it is. In words of Stephen Covey, between stimulus and response is your right to choose. And that's the most empowering statement. So no matter what anyone does to you, they're not going to be able to bring you down if you have the determination and perseverance to pull through. But you got to have that. Now, coming back to these women, I have to talk about social conditioning. The conditioning is so deeply ingrained in our psyches that these women actually thought that this was the be-all and end-all of their lives, that they can never be able to change the way they were. So when we went with them, we went into the communities, the most remote areas, and we told them about the possibilities that existed for them. They didn't even believe it. And they thought we were one of those NGOs, we're coming there, we're just going to help them, then we're going to walk away. No, we consistently provided income streams for them, and now they're able to dream. I think that's the most important part of doing something, that you enable people to have this kind of hope, where they can go out there and they can at least have this dream that there's going to be a better future tomorrow. Okay, now I'm going to bring in a little bit of anthropology. Why do women have to face this kind of stigmatism? Well, initially in the animal kingdom, the roles were very clearly defined for women, but boundaries are less blurred in real life. So women are put under the worst kind of pressures, mostly to perform as breeders. That's all they're good for. And most of these Machiavellian tendencies tend to pull them into this concept. The media doesn't help at all. I mean, if you look at the soap operas recently, women are supposed to be the center. Usually, there's a man, and he's married to these two women, or there's two women are floating around him. Really? Is that the be-all and end-all of a life, to chase after men? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I'm sorry. That doesn't work. Anytime a woman is strong, I have seen this so many times, there's this stigmatism attached to it. I mean, there's this name-calling, bullying, harassment, all sorts of things. If a woman is strong, people want to pull her down. A woman who expresses herself becomes a threat to the society. A woman who wears a skirt becomes a threat to the society. Why? Because she's expressing her individualism. And it's not heard and it's not seen in certain parts of the world. Actually, in many parts of the world. We never talk about the things that matter, that how to set boundaries. Nobody teaches us that. Nobody teaches us that we have to fight for the pay gap, that we have to fight for the gender equality. No one talks about these things. These are casually swept under the carpet. We don't want to think about anything that makes us uncomfortable. It's all hunky-dory out there. It's not so. And especially in the case of underprivileged women. I mean, you guys are all privileged, and you should be happy about that. But there are women who have no access to resources. And those are the women that we're working with. Those are the women that we're concerned about, and that's my passion. I want to empower them. I want them to step out and think, I am capable like any other person out there. Even if she's not educated, she can go out there and make a living for herself. She can go out there and counter gender violence. She can stand up to those people who she doesn't want to be around. She can empower herself. So that is basically what we're about. We're about empowering women. We're about bringing about a social change. And we're about involving women in a way so that they can contribute as active and progressive members of the society. It's not an easy task, and it has been an uphill climb. And every step of the way, we've had so many different, I was just telling some of the people in the audience that it's been challenging, and it's been especially challenging in this country rather than abroad, because I feel there is a lot of, still there is a lot of stigma attached to certain things, and there's a lot of bureaucratic processes that we need to eliminate. But we're making progress. We're making sure that we go towards something that is bigger than just a limited perspective. So I'm going to give you an example of one of the women that we train. Her name is Shazia, and you can see them. That's Shazia, that's Nadia, and we have multiple women like these. And before we met them, and before they attended our workshops, they had absolutely no idea what they would do with themselves. Some of them were facing harassment at their homes. Most of them had no sources of income. There's a lot of conflict going on in these remote areas we're working, and they had no sources of income. So we trained them, and now they've become active leaders in their own communities. So we've created this chain of positivity that they are now the leaders, and they're helping 10 other women, and those 10 women will train 100 other women, and that's how the circle goes. It's a small step, but I believe that eventually it will lead to a much bigger thing, and that's what we're doing in Turkey as well. We've taken these small groups of women, and we're training them, and then we're empowering them with these concepts that yes, change is possible, and that's eventually what we intend to do with the refugees, because as you know, the crisis that's going on, we intend to empower those refugees to think that they're not victims, that they can change their lives. And that's what I stand here for. Thank you.